Welcome to the Business Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Edwin Frondozo. I am happy to share this episode, which is a special collaboration with Up Next Global and the Brampton Venture Zone, celebrating BVZ's 5 years of bold founders. I was honored to sit down as the interviewer and learn directly from this community of builders, innovators, and leaders. So let's get to it. With me is Sakeena Mihyar, founder and CEO of SAVIN. SAVIN is a refugee-led social impact venture delivering digital, neuroscience-based mental health care in fragile and conflict-affected contexts. Inspired by her lived experience as a survivor of war, Sakeena has built a platform that makes trauma care accessible, scalable, and culturally adopted across multiple languages. Sakeena, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I just wanted to start off, what is your personal story or insight that really inspired you to start SAVIN?
Yeah, so I come from a country that had a civil war, went on for a very long time. I grew up hearing bombs and really bad things happening around me. And when I moved to Canada, it was so quiet. There was nothing around me. And I moved to Canada very young too. So I did not know to talk about the experiences I've had in the past. I was also experiencing panic attacks, and I did not know the word for it. I just kept quiet. Like, of all the things, I moved to a neighborhood right by the hospital. So I would hear sirens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And sirens was my trigger. And I would have these really bad panic attacks. And I did not know what was happening to me, because if someone is experiencing a panic attack, they literally think they're dying. Because your heartbeat is so accelerated and feels
Uncontrollable.
Yeah, and the experience varies. And it wasn't until almost 8 years later, when I was working at TMU and had access to employment benefits, that I was seen by a therapist. I got care for trauma, and it changed my life. Just living with trauma and not living with trauma. Like everyone, there isn't an end state to trauma, right? You always live with what happened in your past. You're just able to carry it a little bit better. But the space it allowed me to explore creativity and all of that just changed my life. And my background is also in tech. I've been in tech, I've built products previously, and I wanted to provide the same level of comfort that I achieved after being seen by a therapist to my community members. So I just decided, like, I was talking about this idea for a long time. How do we get access to our community? How do we build community with this? And one day I just went to a pitch competition. I said, I want to build this platform that is different, that is accessible, that people can access it in their own language, in a culturally appropriate manner. And that's where I started. So our platform is built on neuroscience. It's quite different from talk therapies, where it's really focused on thoughts and how somebody processes cognitively. This is based on a therapy called EMDR, or eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It takes these really difficult memories. Our memories, our brains, one of the primary goals of our brain is to protect us and just to keep us safe. However, it doesn't make such a good job of understanding the context of something. So for me, I heard sirens when I was at the situation of war, but in Toronto, I was not at war, right? Like, I was safe. But still, my body and my brain was like, oh, you're not safe, right? That was the cause of it. So these memories get locked in our brains if they're not what you call processed appropriately. So we are able to access that memory using rapid eye movements. It puts your brain into this state where accessing that memory is quite easy. There isn't a lot of revisiting the past. It's focusing on that memory, using the eye movements. And then what happens in our brain is we retrain the brain to go in a different path, like create different neural networks and neuroplasticity, so that as you keep repeating this program that we have, we rebuild new neural pathways in the brain to say that you're now safe. So it's very quick. It's different from traditional talk therapies. We've seen success in just 8 weeks. We've done a clinical study at Sikki's Research Institute that with adults that were diagnosed with PTSD who were in a very serious motor vehicle accident. They couldn't even get back into a car. And then, just by using this platform, 3 to 4 weeks, they were able to go back. We reduced symptoms such as trauma by 60%.
Wow.
And then we reduced anxiety and depression by 40%. So if you were to compare this with traditional therapies, the clinical outcomes, which means this is the baseline to say, this therapy was successful, was at 10%. So we far exceeded it at 60%. So that study I was really scared going into that study because there wasn't something like this out in the market.
Right.
And there was nothing for me to compare to. And I'm like, oh my God, what if this does not work?
Yeah.
And it went beyond that. Like it worked really well. So from then on, we then been doing translations and building it so that communities that don't speak English get access to it in the most appropriate way.
That's amazing. This is such a great story. And thank you for sharing, where the inspiration come, especially, from your upbringing to coming to Canada. And what's interesting, and I know we had a chat about this earlier, being a woman founder, especially within the health tech. What challenges are you facing or have you faced and overcome now in this space?
Oh my God. Many, many challenges.
Yes.
So I used to be wearing a niqab as well. So what you see on my head is called a hijab. Niqab is when you cover your face too. So I was wearing it until the beginning of this year.
Oh, wow.
So I was a very different health tech founder. I would walk into rooms and people would be like, wait, we were not expecting somebody who looks like you. Yes, there were a lot of barriers. I would walk into rooms where, there is unconscious bias or conscious bias that I had to overcome quite a bit. But I think, I have tons of resilience. Refugees know a lot about resilience and pushing through barriers and making things work. I also had great mentors and other female founders who struggled in a similar manner. It used to be health tech is primarily, the stats also show like investment in female founders are so much lower, like so less than 10%.
Right.
But we bring in the greatest revenue, like we bring in more, we build with less compared to the stats in the market right now. So yes, there were barriers in that sense, but I think the founder community in GTA and in Brampton is amazing. There's a lot of support. It's just a phone call. Hey, I've got this problem. What do I do? We even have hidden WhatsApp groups where we're like, oh my God, I had this interaction. It sucks. What do I do? And we talk about things. So it has been great building with other supportive founders and mentors and folks who do support. But yes, it was very challenging.
Right.
And I hope that other listeners who are listening in, young females, like we can do it. We can do it better. Sometimes just do it differently, not better. Let me rephrase it. We do things differently, and sometimes that difference is needed in the world to see impact and to be compassionate with the clients we work with the partners we work with, and the team members we work with.
That's great. Bringing it back to your organization, SAVIN, like how does SAVIN reflect BVZ's vision when it comes to innovation and innovation with heart or with empathy?
I think we are so aligned. When I came to BVZ cohort, I really felt like I was coming home because the energy around BVZ is so different. I've been in quite a few other incubators and accelerators. I think it's leading with heart is shown at all levels of leadership at the BVZ. It's also demonstrated on how they bring in into EIRs, for example, or mentors who look like you and who come from similar backgrounds and who know like the nuances of being different and who can address that. So leading with heart, I think BVZ led with heart, and how we align is everything we do is with heart. For me, it's really important that we put inclusion and empathy in the center of everything we do, whether it's just like, writing a procedure or like writing code or hiring practices or our marketing, or how we deal with our clients or our partners. Like everything is, I try to practice it. It's very easy to say it's lead with inclusion, but it is really hard. It is very challenging. So, for example, we have neurodivergent team members, and sometimes it's really hard, right, when you have a deadline. But we make sure that, we work around every team member and still deliver and still move forward.
I guess I'm curious, how did BVZ encourage you to think about, your company, about scaling impact, while really staying rooted into what we're talking about when it comes to empathy or leading with heart?
Yeah, so thanks to the support of BVZ, we've scaled globally now. We are not only operational all across Canada in the provinces, but also in Syria. So we are operational and working with internally displaced persons in Syria after the civil war. And I think it is always putting that to the center of everything we do. So even if we are writing like an operation manual, like how do you make sure that you're co-designing with empathy, that you're listening to the people on the ground, you're listening to the clients, you're listening to people. Like we are based in Canada, but the operations in Syria has to be led by Syrians on the ground. So making sure that we put that first always, and working with them to do that. And as we continue growing, I think it's always checking in. We do 6 months checkup on the team to say, hey, what is not happening? What are some things that we are not happy with, and kind of try and work through that.
Well, congrats on scaling to different regions. I guess looking back now at your journey, is there a specific, what's the single most valuable lesson that you gained just being part of this community in BVZ?
I think being open and curious, open to good feedback, even critical feedback is feedback. Just receiving it and building better, learning from it. What was the second question?
What was the single most valuable lesson you gained from being part of BVZ?
Yes, being open and curious. So when I started my company, I did not know financial planning. I did not know sales and marketing. I was really good at tech and solving problems, but I didn't know all of these things. So being curious and even learning the things I don't like. I suck. I still suck at finance. I'm getting better at it. I can do my taxes much better now, but like learning, being open, and then the support that BVZ gave me. I just wanted to like shout out to this one mentor. When I came to BVZ, oh my God, my pitch deck.
Yes.
I look at it now, I was like, oh my God, look at this pitch deck, and how I was able to refine it and build it into something that's really, elevated and tells the story better. So like learning and being curious is, I think, the most.
Sakeena, that's amazing. We're really excited in terms of what you're building, what you're helping, and what you're empowering within the world. So before we let you go, I'd love it if you could share within one sentence, how would you describe BVZ's role in your entrepreneurship journey?
I would say they were pivotal. They helped us move forward. They helped us accelerate and find I'm blanking on the word, blind spots. They helped me with my blind spots. And it was also like, I had a team. Like when I came to BVZ, I think we had 14 members. But once I joined BVZ, it's like I got like 5 different to 10 different team members who were helping me execute on all these different aspects that I needed support with. So yeah. they definitely was pivotal in our growth.
That's great, Sakeena. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you. That was lovely. Thank you so much.
That's a wrap, folks. This episode is part of the BVZ 5 Years Bold. It was produced in collaboration with Up Next Global. I'm grateful for the opportunity to learn from the founders and the BVZ community that continues to shape the Brampton innovation ecosystem. Until next time, have yourself a 100x life.